Relatives of the hostages have flown by helicopter to the hospital. That's awaiting the arrival of their loved ones. In return, Israel is expected to free 30 Palestinian prisoners in the coming hours. The news was confirmed by Qatar, which had pledged earlier that it was working to win the release of more hostages. Let's was live now to our journalist Mohammed Najib from the West Bank city of Ramallah, and Robbie Berman and Nick Collion in Tel Aviv. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for staying up. I know it's been a busy day, but Nick, let's start with you. Another group of hostages has been set free. It's said to be 12 this time, we believe, including 2 foreigners. How is that news going down in Tel Aviv?
So the families of the hostages, they are excited to welcome their loved ones. And those who still didn't receive their relatives, they are looking for them, and they are hoping that in the coming days, more and more hostages will be released by the terrorists of Hamas. And also there is a lot of expectation from the Israelis, and especially from the families of the hostages, that Israel will continue the deals of exchange between prisoners and hostages as long as Hamas delivers the Israelis back home. And they are very, very anxious because they hear some very horror stories from those who return from the captivity. There are children and elderly women, and they are saying it is a hell to be there, that children were forced to watch how Hamas beheaded and killed people, and when a child didn't want to watch, they still forced him to watch, and the elderly women didn't receive medical supply and medical treatment that she needed. So that's why the relatives, they're asking as fast as possible to get their loved ones back home. And we spoke with some of the families and people, Israelis, that came to the main square where all the families are coming to support the cause of releasing the hostages. So let's take a listen to what they said to us earlier.
I hope there will be some more days and more deals, more and more, because I want to see everyone back home, not only the kids. You know, all the men and all the women, everyone. So yes, unfortunately we have to pay the price, but from my side it can continue those deals.
It's a crazy situation. It's a very sad, terrible. Can you imagine, or anybody that is listening, imagine that their daughter with her husband and with the 2 little children, or their grandmother and her husband and their daughter and grandchildren were killed and terrorized and taken away? It's ridiculous. The world needs to push Hamas to release the Israeli hostages that are I heard what they are going through.
In the beginning we want to have all of them back in one shot, like in one time, yeah. But we saw that it's not gonna happen. So we are very happy to each family member that getting back home. We become like one big family, all the hostages family. We become like one big family, and we're happy to see like everyone that's back to his family. And we're waiting to our turn, and we're waiting also like to them to start to talk about the men's. Like even him, like even my brother is also kid. He have kids, you know. He's a kid of my parents, and they're still not talking about all the men's. And we want like they talk about everyone, and we want all of them back.
So as we heard, the Israelis are desperate. They want their relatives back home, but yet they are saying after that, we want that the Israeli army will destroy Hamas, its infrastructure. It will catch all the terrorists in the tunnels, whatever it takes, because they are saying we don't want to see 7th of October again, never again, because it was the worst day since the beginning of the country of Israel. Since the Holocaust, we didn't have such a nightmare. So they don't want it never again. And that's why Israelis still demanding, many of them, that the Israeli army will destroy Hamas.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Well, let's focus on the hostages first there. Nick, let's hope they're all home as soon as possible. Okay, gentlemen, let's hope that the ceasefire gets extended. Let's hope all the hostages are returned and aid gets to where it needs to get to. Let me thank my guests again, journalist Mohammed Najib from the West Bank city of Ramallah and Robbie Berman and Nick Colohin in Tel Aviv. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you.